Namaste. Welcome to our program Hello Hope. I would like to introduce our guest, Ms. Prajna. She is a psychologist. She has the experience of working with children for more than 7 years. She is expert in life skills, counseling, and currently she is teaching with the senior secondary children. Ms. Prajna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Hope things are doing good.
Things are better, yes.
Currently the scenario everywhere, so fear of this COVID-19. Yes. So even though I feel the children, they have the fear in their mind. Mm-hmm. What is COVID-19? Mm-hmm. And it has impacted them like anything. Exactly.
Now, especially when I talk about the effect of COVID-19 on the mental health of children or the psychological changes, that the children are going through because of COVID-19, children are vulnerable. Yes. Okay, they are at risk because, first of all, we have to understand that going to school, it is a totally different experience from what they are having currently, that is learning from home. Right now in school, apart from teaching, they get a lot of other exposure. They get into a lot of other activities. There is a lot of other exposure for them. Yes. They get a chance to meet with students, with teachers, play, hone their skills. There is personality development. They learn a lot of skills and abilities at school, something which children are not able to do currently.
Yes.
Okay, and that is something, that is impacting the children. I have a regular conversation with students. I'm teaching students. I take life skill sessions. I have counseling sessions. So this is one thing that, students, day in and day out, they tell me that, ma'am, even though online classes are fine, but I'm not getting a chance to meet my friends face to face or interact with them face to face or talk to my teachers face to face. Yes. So this is one thing that, children are really missing. Now, initially, when we started with the whole online teaching, they were very excited. Because, they will get a chance to, be at home and, learn. And this was a totally new experience and they were excited initially. But now the boredom has come in. They are tired of sitting at home. Now, just imagine all of the children are sitting at home for the past 5 to 6 months. And they are not getting a chance to, showcase their talents or different kinds of activities or the skills. So that is something that children are missing currently.
I would like to ask one more thing. The online classes are going on and I'm so really worried about the kids, about the screen time. This is a big question with every parent or a teacher or anyone, like a general person also. They have all the time the kids are watching the education is through the media and they're watching lots of screen time. So can you just suggest me how to reduce or some handling situation to come out of the screen time?
Now again, because of COVID-19, children more and more are, spending a lot of time in front of the screen. Now, my son is 4 years old. He's not yet 4. He's in nursery. He also has online classes, which is of, 1.5 hours. So he also has to sit in front of the screen. He's a young child. Initially, I thought, how will I make him sit? Because my child is quite restless. He doesn't sit at one place. Okay. And when we are talking about screen time, it is something which is, we have to make a clear demarcation of what is healthy and what is unhealthy. Right? Healthy is one when I know that I have to, sit in front of my screen. I have to listen to the lectures. I have to complete my homework. I have to write notes. I have to upload my work. And then I am shutting down my computer and, I'm staying away from my phone or the tab or the iPad, whatever children are using. That is healthy screen time.
Okay. So you're just trying to tell us it's a particular fixed time for the screen timing.
Exactly. And continuously I have interaction with parents. I have interaction with teachers. And this is something that we have discussed in meetings also when we have staff meeting, that children continue to be online even when it is not needed. Even when the classes are over, they are online, they are chatting, they are talking with their friends. Not just staying online, but they are also spending a considerable amount of time in other applications such as Facebook, there is Snapchat, there is Instagram, now PUBG and TikTok has been banned. Earlier, children were, spending a lot of time on PUBG. As teachers and parents and also educators, we have to make this aware to the students. Their relationship with their gadgets, whether it is healthy or it is unhealthy.
When we put them like this is the time for you, restricted time to the children, so will they accept this? Like, okay, the smaller children, they do, but I'm worried for the senior classes.
The whole the lockdown and the online teaching, only recently for the past 1.5 months, parents have started going to work. So now everything depends on the parents, and it is very important that we understand the relationship children share with their parents. If it is again a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship. I know a lot of students who come from a very healthy family background where the parents are giving time to the children, they are spending a lot of time with the children, they are spending quality time with children, they are supportive, they do not interfere in the decisions that the children are making. That is a healthy home environment. That is very important, the kind of relationship I share with my parents. I also know a lot of children who come from unhealthy family backgrounds, right? Where the parents are abusive, or there is constant conflict between the parents and the children. There is constant conflict between parents themselves. I know a lot of children whose, father, right? They're alcoholic and they create issues in the family. That there are a lot of children who come from unhealthy family backgrounds. And that is where the problem comes in. Again, the kind of background I come from, okay, the kind of relationship I have with my parents will have a direct impact on will have a direct impact on my development. Okay, now again, if parents are supportive, if parents are sensitive to the needs of the children, they will know how to regulate the screen time for the children. Right, it all depends on the parents, and now parents have a great chance of developing that one-to-one relationship with their children. So that kind of a relationship with parents is very important, especially from when we are talking from a psychological point of view.
You know that every child, they have their own social time. Like, sometimes they love to go out for a play or a music class or a dance class. So like nowadays they are not going anywhere. So can you just suggest us in these times how to manage these activities at home itself?
Yes. Now, every child has social needs. Okay, and initially, when they were going to school, though these social needs were met because they were meeting their friends, they were having one-to-one interaction with their friends, they were having a connect with friends, and emotionally, children, feel connected with their friends more than their parents. Right? So this particular scenario is missing now because the schools have shut down. Right? Now for children, because they are not getting a chance to move out of the house, maybe the parents are quite protective and they don't want their children to venture out or go out to the park or meet their friends. Now there are certain things that children also can do at home. They don't have to necessarily go out. They can, take up a new hobby. They can learn a new skill. They can, take up a new activity. They can learn how to draw or paint. Right? Taking up a hobby, reading. Right, there are a lot of activities that children can, take up so that their time is utilized. Okay, and their time is productive. Like we talked about the screen time previously. Right? One of the ways through which I can reduce my screen time is when I am using my time productively, when I'm staying away from my phone and I know there are certain tasks that I have to complete. Okay, so parents really need to monitor and also become aware of what their children are doing, especially when it comes to, usage of phone. I will give you an example. Very recently, I had a session with one girl. I'm not going to disclose the name or the class. She told me that, ma'am, I have a secret that I want to share with you.
That's good.
I told her, okay, what is it? She told me that, ma'am, I am in touch with a lot of people all over the world. I have friends all over the world. Okay. I told her that is a good thing, that you have friends all over the world and that you are in touch with them. Then I asked her, do you know them personally? Then she said, ma'am, this is what I want to share. I don't know any of them. And then I asked her, what is the medium that you are using? She said that, ma'am, Snapchat. Now, I didn't know what Snapchat was all about. That is one application I never explored. Now, children are very, they're techie, they're curious, they want to try out different kinds of applications. Now, this was one application she was using, and she was interacting with people she didn't even know. And then she told me that, ma'am, I feel good when I'm there for another person because that person is depressed and also has suicidal thoughts. I told her that, how do you know really that the other person has, depression or suicidal thoughts? Then she said, ma'am, they told me. Then I had to leave. Now, we were talking about a completely different issue. I had to leave all of that and focus on this problem. I told her that, my dear child, you cannot trust anybody, behind the screen. You don't know that person. You don't know that person personally. Whatever they are sharing with you or whatever they are telling you, you must not trust them. You cannot trust anybody in, the times we are living in today.
Yes.
Right? And then I had to explain it to her, and then I don't know if she understood or not, but then she told me that, ma'am, I'm going to delete my profile from Snapchat and I'll stop following them and I'll stop talking to them. So this is what she told me. And we are just talking about one kid. There might be 100 different kids who are engaging in all of these behaviors. And lot of children are staying up late and parents are not aware about this fact. Lot of children are, I know, some who do. Lot of children are staying up late and spending time, on different kinds of applications, which is not healthy and something which they shouldn't be doing. But children are not aware of its consequences. What is good for me? What is bad for me? Children, even though they are much, very much aware of the technology, they are aware of the applications, but they are not aware of the consequences of their behavior.
Yes. Could you just tell me, Prajna, so what are the strategies that we are having on the online class teaching? So can you just, tell what is that?
Okay. Now, one of the strategy is to use my time productively. Now, online teaching is not easy. Okay, for both the students and also the teachers. It is a challenge for the teachers and also for the students. Okay, because teachers do not know whether the other child who is behind the screen is really listening to what I'm saying or is really understanding what I'm saying. So it is a challenge not just for the students but also for the teachers. Now, parents really need to help their children to have a structure. Without structure, children cannot move forward.
Yes.
That is why we have a whole concept of timetable at school. Yes. So that same timetable is required even while studying at home. That structure is very important. I have 24 hours. How will I use these 24 hours so that I'm able to complete the task that I have to do? So using the time productively is very important, and that can only happen when I have a structure. Without a structure, I will get lost in the things that I have to do.
Next, we really do not know what is going to do or what you have to do, what is going to happen. So these will be arising in the child's mind.
So having a structure, as part of the structure, they should also have long-term goals and short-term goals.
Yes.
Okay, I have 1 month. In this 1 month, I have to complete these many chapters or I have to complete these many units. Now, if I talk about for a day, okay, I'm sitting down to study. I have 1 hour. I have taken out that 1 hour to study maybe science or physics or chemistry or mathematics. In that 1 hour, the child must be aware that I have to complete these 5 questions, or I have to complete this one topic, or I will complete these many, sums in mathematics. Without having an awareness of how much I will complete, children will never complete. That is why they lag behind in the work that they have to do. They're not able to complete the work. They're not able to manage the time. They procrastinate because there is a basic lack in structure.
I would like to ask you one question. Like, all are at home, everybody is irritated. The thing is how they can enhance or develop interpersonal relation.
Now, there are a lot of ways through which this relationship can become better.
Yeah.
Okay, which, the relationship between the parents and the children, it can, get better. First of all, parents have to realize that they are not spending quality time with their children.
That's true.
Okay, if I talk about my family, my son is going to be 4 years old. He will be playing with his toys. My husband will be sitting on his laptop and doing work. It's not that we are doing some other work or we are not utilizing our time. He will be doing his office work, I will be doing my school work, and poor kid, he will be all by, yeah, he feels neglected. And in the entire lockdown, I have noticed an increase in the aggression level in my own son, because we are not getting that kind of time to spend with the children.
That's true.
And this is one thing that parents need to become aware. Parents need to become aware of the fact that I'm not giving quality time to my child. And if I do not give quality time to my child, how will I build that kind of a relationship? It is very important. Parents need to give that kind of time to the children. They can, before the lockdown, I know, the parents are busy. They did not maybe get a chance, to have even one meal together. Yes. But now, because they are at home, at least 1 or 2 meals, lunch and dinner, they must sit together and have it together. This is one way. And that particular time, both parents and children must, keep their cell phones away. A lot of times I see, my husband will be eating food and he'll be looking at what, the meals that he has got. And this is the case with every household. Because parents are so busy in their own, work life, they're not getting that kind of time to spend on children. So first thing is, parents need to become aware that as parent, I'm not giving that kind of time to my child. Praying is one important factor. No matter which religion you come from, you can sit down and pray.
Yes.
Right? Even in my family, we have a time of prayer. Every half an hour before we sit down for dinner, 8 to 8:30, we have a prayer time. So this is also one of the ways through which I can connect with my family members. And when I have that connect with my family members, definitely the relationship will improve.
Prajna, can you just tell me, the kids are sitting in front of the computers or watching television for long hours, and it's really taking their health also. Just give some few tips regarding the health and the immunity, what kind of thing they have to follow in their daily life.
As you know, that children are spending a lot of time at home, and there are a lot of activities that children engage in which can be unhealthy for them. Yeah. So like I told you, getting enough sleep is very important. Psychologically, sleep is very important. And it is a myth actually when we say that a child who is 18 years old or a 17-year-old or 15-year-old, they require only 6 hours of sleep. No. Minimum for a child, till about their 18 years of age, minimum they must get 8 hours of sleep, which most of the children are not getting. Because they are getting into the habit of going to bed late and waking up late, or going to bed late and waking up early, and they are not getting that 8 hours of continuous sleep. And this particular factor itself is a major concern.
That's true.
Right? Now when children are not getting that kind of sleep, it increases psychological issues also. They are becoming depressed, they are becoming anxious, they are becoming aggressive, they become irritated. All of it can be attributable to the fact whether my child is getting proper sleep or not. So again, it depends a lot on the parents to monitor that fact. They must be very firm with their children and tell their children by 10 o'clock, you must complete all your studies, all your activities, and go to bed. And when they are going to bed, they should put away their phone in a different place altogether, because phone is a major distraction. Now we have all of these applications. We have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, we have Hotstar. More and more number of children are spending the time, on screen. They're watching series, they're watching mini series, they are watching movies, because of which they are not getting proper time to sleep. And again, this has a huge impact, not psychologically, but also on health. So sleep is very important, and it is important for the parents to monitor and also see that children are getting at least minimum 8 hours of sleep. So this is one thing. Sleep is an important factor. Eating good nutritious food is also very important. Eating Maggi, drinking Coca-Cola or Mirinda or Limca will not impact their health positively. Okay. Staying away from breads and maida. So eating good nutritious food is very important. Have a balanced diet is very important. This is also what research has also which is pointed out. Including nuts in your daily routine. At least have few nuts in the morning. Eating a proper breakfast at a proper time. You must have breakfast by 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. It should not go to 8 or 9 or 10. Have breakfast by 8 a.m., have lunch by 1 or 1:30 p.m., then have something for evening, and then you must have dinner. So you should have, children must have at least 4 meals a day. This is very important, and most of the children, because they have to, they are waking up late, they have to hurry and sit in front of the class, they are not eating proper food. And most of the time when I ask my students, they are not even eating breakfast. One class after another. So their class starts at 9, gets over at 12:30, and in between they would have not had even one, banana or even one glass of milk. And this is going to, in short term, it doesn't really matter. But if this continues, if this pattern continues, it will impact their health, negatively. So eating good nutritious food at a proper time interval is very important.
Can you just give me some tips to overcome this COVID-19?
Like I told you previously, there are a lot of activities, home activities, they can take up. Now, my cousin brother's daughter, she learned cooking in this entire, COVID-19 period. So her mother is a very good cook, but because now she's in 11th standard, she completed her 10th and now she's in 11th. And because she had a lot of time with her, she, along with her mother, she's very close to her mother. Along with her mother, she learned cooking. And she, tried different kinds of recipes, tried different kinds of dishes. And she used to send me photograph every single day. Photograph of what she prepared. She's in Bangalore, and so this is something that children can take up whatever interests them. It can be music, it can be playing guitar, it can be playing keyboard, it can be, there are also some students who enjoy writing. They write poems. So writing, reading, all of these are activities, something which really interests them, something which is not forced upon by the parents, but something that is really, they are interested in doing that particular activity.
Thank you so much, Prajna. I think your tips will help our students to come out of this COVID-19. Hope they'll be back to the school and get to the normal life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope we had a wonderful session. We will meet you soon with a new topic in our program, Hello Hope.